What is going on, guys? Welcome into today's edition of the Set It Off Network. I am your host, Michael Setitall, and we're here talking LSU baseball. They get the job done this weekend in Norman, and I think made a huge statement on the potential of this team and what this team could be in the future. They go on the road to Norman. It's terrible weather. A lot of the fan base was kind of like, okay, you've beat up on a couple lesser teams here, and you lost the series to Texas. Let's see what you do now when you're facing good competition again. And LSU passed that test with flying colors, and it all started on Thursday night with Cade Anderson's 130-plus pitch performance, complete game shutout, set the tone for the entire weekend. Gave up 5 hits, obviously 0 runs, and again, he threw over 130 pitches. And I'm sure there's a lot of people just like me on Thursday night who, like, when he came back out for the 8th inning at, like 105-ish, he was already over 100, and you were thinking, like, what the heck is Jay doing? Like, you have Zach Cohen sitting here, you have Casey Evans sitting here, like, why are we running Cade Anderson back out there? And the 8th inning went by in a blink. Cade sat everybody down, 3 up, 3 down, and then you're like, well, amazing performance by Cade, like, surely he's not coming out for the 9th, but boy, were we wrong, because he came out in the 9th, and it was more quick work of the same thing. And like I said, pitches the complete game and really is starting to show you what Jay Johnson saw in the fall and over the summers, that this guy has officially taken hold of that place in LSU, to where he is that Friday night starter. Like, there's been a couple shaky outings where maybe you were like, wow, the stamina's not there. Maybe he just can't go deeper into games. And then he pulls out something like this. And that is all the rest now. Like I said, over 130 pitches. Complete game shutout on Thursday night. You had the big single by Jerry Jones in the 3rd. You had a big double by Stanfield, which is going to be the theme of the weekend. I really think one of the most underrated players of this weekend that nobody's really going to talk about is this job that Chris Stanfield did at the plate this weekend. So you end up winning game 1 2-0. Thursday nights in the SEC, you're going up against a elite pitcher, first round talent, and Cade Anderson just goes out there and shoves and does his job and wins that battle on Thursday night, leaving you a chance to win the series, and you haven't even used Zach Cohen or Casey Evans at this point in the game, or in the series, which is an unbelievable advantage. We all thought weather and stuff was going to play a factor this weekend. Crazy enough, they didn't have any delays or postponements, which was crazy. Looking at the weather forecast all week, I thought for sure we'd have start times changing around, which could lead to pitching issues from guys. So Saturday's or Friday night's game, you get Anthony Iverson out there, and Anthony Iverson continues to show you guys like why he is so special, because the job he did is really all you can ask. So my whole thing with LSU pitching since Jay Johnson's got here and corrected in how this offensive approach is, there's not going to be games very many times where LSU offense doesn't produce 5 or more runs. Like, that's just what it is. Like, LSU and Jay Johnson are not going to get shut down like that very many times. Like, you can count on one hand how many times they've done it since he's been here. So my thing with Anthony Anderson has always been, give me a chance on Saturday. And boy, did he ever. He's not only giving you a chance, he's putting you in firm control of these games, because the LSU offense really took off on Friday night. I know a lot of those runs came in the 9th inning. 3 of them came in the 9th inning. But you were in firm control of this thing, 6-2, with a guy like Casey Evans on the mound to finish this thing off. and you really felt good about it. But Anthony Eisen really has set the tone on Saturdays or on game twos whenever they're played. And the last two starts he's made, he's been completely awesome. And this is the guy that we were all expecting throughout the year, right? And then you turn the ball over to a guy like Kason Evans, shuts the door, boom, just like that. You've won the series in Norman, and you've not only won the series, you've completely dominated the series, right? You have two starting pitchers that didn't give up a single earned run throughout the first two games. You have a bullpen guy in Kason Evans who came in and shoved for 3 1/3, and that led you to Saturday's game. Weather still terrible, wind blowing in. It was like 20 something degrees with the wind chill. Like, that's not ideal conditions for April, and not something LSU baseball fans are used to for sure. But the 3 o'clock or the 2 o'clock start on Saturday got the Tigers off to a hot start. You get the error on the Curio hit, and you score 2 runs right off the bat, and then Chase Shores with a very quality start. The walk total was a little up there for me, 4 walks, only 4 strikeouts in 5 innings, but he gave you a chance to win. That is what I am going to preach with these starting pitchers. If they can get you 5 innings and 3 or less runs, like, give me a quality start and you are going to win 95% of the time, because the way that Jay used the bullpen and was able to only use 5 pitchers the entire weekend, like, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. Like, if you asked Jay Johnson, like, hey, what does a perfect series for you look like, it would have been exactly what happened in Norman. Now, I really hope this is not like an anomaly, and I think they can continue this kind of success. I hope they do. They play, obviously their midweek game, and then they play Auburn, who's been a really good team the last couple weeks. So you're going to get tested again in this league always, so you got to be on your A game. But an absolute masterclass this weekend from LSU pitching staff. 0 earned runs. They gave up 2 runs on Sunday. They won the game 3-2. A little drama there in the 9th inning, but you were able to get it done. Zach Cohen was able to get the save there and finish the game off, pitching the last 4 innings. Really just when Kason Evans and Zach Cohen come into the game, it's almost like just chalk it up on the board at this point. Like, those guys have been absolutely amazing throughout the year, and I think LSU has really established themselves as having 4 elite pitchers. And I think as the season goes on, Chase Shores is just going to continue to get better and could possibly move that number to 5, because right now with Cade going on Fridays, Anthony going on Saturdays, and then those 2 guys in the bullpen, like, that combination of those 4 guys is tough to beat. There's not a lot of teams that have that. And I think that's what makes this LSU team special. But the more impressive thing, just as impressive as the offensive or the pitching side of things, was the offense. And I thought the offense did a tremendous job on Thursday night, going against, like I said, a first-round talent, working counts, working at bats, coming through with clutch 2-out hits. They scored a ton of runs this weekend with 2 outs, which is a recipe for success. If you want to win in this league, you have to drive in runs with 2 outs, because it is so hard to hit pitchers in this league. And then when they give you chances, you got to take advantage of them. And LSU felt like they just capitalized on every single opportunity. And they never let Oklahoma, like, there was never a point in this series where I was like, wow, Oklahoma is in control of this game, or Oklahoma has the momentum. Like, you're talking about, like, smothering a team all weekend at their home ballpark, and you just never let them come up for air. And it led to a sweep. So your Tigers sit at 30-3 now. 30 wins for the LSU Tigers here, and we're not even at the halfway point of the SEC season. And 10-2 in conference, which is right up there with the top of the league, with Tennessee dropping their series this weekend. I don't believe Arkansas is playing a majority of their series in Missouri. You know, Texas still has a rubber game with Georgia, so we'll see how all that shakes out. But as of right now, man, your Tigers are flying high, and Jay Johnson and the boys are rolling. Hopefully they can continue this momentum. It'd be hard to replicate a pitching performance like this, but if we can get something anywhere close to what we got this weekend, man, LSU is going to be a force in college baseball, not just during the regular season, but when we get into postseason play as well, as LSU's goals are all still in front of them, trying to get that top 8 seed and host postseason games at the box. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on this video. Let me know how you felt this weekend, what you were doing, all of that good stuff, man. And I will see you guys next time.